Okay, I'm going to be taking this keyboard apart. It looks like it's cast aluminum that's been sitting in the rain in my yard for probably about 6 months. I found this maybe 8 months ago, spring cleanup somewhere. It has that, you know, those nice click sounds. Very nice. It's BTC. Basically, it's been made in February 17th, 1986. So it's an old time for sure. BTC 5050, made in Taiwan. So okay, let me just start unscrewing it. See what kind of stuff's in this thing. Whatever there's screws, I'll take apart all the screws. These are the feed adjusters here that raise the bass and all that. Some of these keyboards, especially the older ones, are pretty valuable. So if you're gonna tear something apart, just double check, because it might be worth a lot more than scrap or curiosity factor, right? Okay. Those don't seem to be working there. Like I said, it's been sitting in the rain for the last 5 months, 6 months in my yard, so I'm not too worried about it. But I noticed I scrapped all my other plastic ones and just threw them in the shred. I threw like five or six at a time. I had about 30 of them. I was originally taking the Mylar out of there, but I just decided I'm not going to do it. Just the amount of waste and screws and all that. Okay, there it is. So now that's actually that's not even metal, it's plastic. Wow, look at that. It's actually plastic. It felt like it was metal. The way, so how hard it is. It's actually a piece of plastic. So that's worthless to me. So you got one main IC chip here and then a couple smaller ones. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 IC chips. So there's screws on the side. Popping the side ones off. But people like these old keyboards because they click nice. And they're kind of like, if you learned to operate these when you're younger, people enjoyed these, right? It's like when riding a bike, your favorite bike, right? Learning off a keyboard like this. The feel of it, the sound of it, it's just like old school. People like that. It's like old video games. Basic video games were just really poor graphics, slow. I could have had some speed, but the graphics were poor, but people enjoyed the first kinds of computer games. Okay, so got a plug here. So I'm not really going to worry too much about this, but that's why I was turning it, because it's got a nut on here. Let's pop this wire off while I'm here. Okay, so far a bunch of screws, a little piece of wire, because the cord was already cut off. Okay, so now determine what all screws there is here. Find a smaller screwdriver. Okay. Seems to have a lot of circuitry to it. Sometimes these older ones have gold plating, but it's hard to say what this will have. So it's built in 1986. That's nice that it's dated there, just so you know roughly how old it would be. But I thought that was a metal, just the way it sounded like. So solid and cold feeling, you know? Almost like metal, so... Anyways, it's not metal, too bad. I thought it might have been a cast. I'm not using no power tools because some people like to just take stuff out without power tools, and like I say, there's not that many screws. Some keyboards might have like 50 screws. You get 4 or 5 screws on the bottom, then when you get into the inside, there's dozens and dozens of screws. So one more here. Oh, even one more here. Okay, so it's silver. Thought it would have been gold. Let's see if I can scratch them. Yeah, I think there's silver contacts. So that's your keyboards. I see how they click. That's how they click down there. At least there's a little more scrap value in these compared to the other ones. So I'm thinking probably silver. Silver keypad, right? So that's kind of what you have here. I mean, it might be worth something to someone, but it's all discolorated. Like, the colors are all off. It's really faded and dirty. It's burnt, like. I'll be taking the IC chips off for sure. This board, like I say, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Even it being silver, the value of silver is so little, and the process and chemicals. I mean, if you got, you know, tons of this material, it's definitely worth it, right? Like, let's see what else for screwdrivers I have here. Look at the crystal oscillator here. Let's get something a little flat. It's a crystal oscillator right here. Pop that off. Right there. These IC chips, you can see I'll pop them off. Just stand by for a second. Okay, so it's definitely, it's probably, I would think a silver material, probably silver, but it's a little more than plating, like it's pretty thick. So it's definitely not cheap. Let's see if I can pop some of these ICs off. No, I can't. Just breaking. But let me just get a magnifying glass. Some of these IC chips, I looked at a few, and I'm not seeing any bonding wires in some of these at all. Especially ones on the stoves. Like, I don't see any type of bonding wire there at all. So, I don't know if you can see that, but okay, so most of these ICs I'll probably have to use heat to get them off. You know, like this one looks interesting here, the big one. You got resistors, a little bit of capacitors, and some other kind of resistor of some sort, maybe. So it's pretty basic. Okay, so well, that's the teardown here on that thing. Pretty basic. Just got a few IC chips, like I say. Not a lot in here. I thought it'd be a lot better, but still better than most keyboards. Most keyboards only have like a very small IC. I guess as technology got better, the IC chips got smaller, and you only needed maybe one versus having 6 or 7, right? So anyways, I'll just keep this board for now for probably silver recovery, I would think, if I ever do it. But I'm sure it would be silver. There's no tracing else. It's right in there. So it's a heavy plates. Okay, that's it. That's it. BTC 1986 keyboard. Nice sounding keyboards. Okay, that's it. That's all there is in this one. Another device here. I'm not sure if it's a battery pack or what it is really. It must be like a power pack, I'm thinking. So I'll open it up and see what's in it. It says do not throw into the garbage. We'll just see exactly what it is. See what kind of salvage is in here. If it's batteries or is it? Oh, look at that! Big circuit board. Oh, it's actually a storage device. It's a hard drive, actually. Huh? Didn't think it was a hard drive because I didn't recognize the plug here. It's an actual hard drive. Okay. So how big is it? 1,000 gigabyte hard drive. 1,000 gigs, so 1 terabyte Samsung. So I might just not tear this apart at this particular time because it's just a hard drive. It's got the hard drive board here, standard board. I'm just thinking as an external hard drive might be kind of handy. So I'll have to look into to see if it works. But you know, it might be broken too, right? That's why they either threw it out, or I don't know how I got it. Could be some e-waste I got from a call or something, or a house demo. I'm not sure, but anyways, so it's a hard drive. I thought, like I say, it could have been a battery pack, or I thought maybe it was digital memory. I didn't think it was a hard drive. I didn't recognize the plug, so I'm not too inclined on that plug there. But okay, so I'm just gonna put it back together, and just want to see if I can get this working. As like my buddy's looking for hard drives for his shop. They use for cameras. They do surveillance recording continuously. So they use 1 terabyte hard drives, 1, 2, or 3, whatever they can get. He gives me computers. I'll give him the odd hard drive I get. It's a good pass up back and forth. He gives me hard drives too that are old, and computers that I can take for e-waste. So this might be one good for him. Okay, I'm gonna do. Well, I'll just put this together quickly, and I'm gonna do a couple floppies next. We're gonna do a video on these, how they actually changed. That's the old original floppies. I'm not sure the size of that one. And this is the newer floppy. This is like the originals from probably the early 80s maybe, and then 90s, this style. So they went from a big floppy to a miniature size floppy, and that was your standard floppies they used for many years until they went to the CD drives or DVD drives or CD writer drives. They changed the format. But look at the technology. They didn't have to have a big size. They got probably more space, more everything. Look at the difference in size. They had a heavy cast aluminum frame. This is just tin and steel. Well, this is cast too. This is a little bit older one also, so it's probably technology was just a couple years later they went to this, because that's cast. Normally it's not cast, it's just pot metal steel. Okay, let me just get this put together, and we'll go to this next. Stand by. So basically, I'm gonna tear this one apart. I'm gonna cutter pliers here. I don't have much of my tools here, but okay. So that's, like I say, that's the new ones now, the original ones that came out. So quite a bit of technology there from the start. We'll start with taking the board off. I did a video like this about a month ago, but the problem is it was in my garage. It was really dark, so that's why I'm doing another one, just to show newer subscribers and people that just found my channel recently. So that's your lots of gold plating here. See that? Gold plating there, gold plating pins here, and this is better quality plating than you would get from today. Lots of monolithic MLCCs, monolithic capacitors, and so on, and different IC chip flatback styles and different standard IC chips. There's even one that's but anyways, that's the board. Just start tearing it apart a bit. This stuff, like I say, might be worth more than scrap, so I'm just doing an educational video here. This has never been tested, not knowing if it works or not. Found it in a dumpster. I was doing a clean out job, and there was a bunch of junk in the dumpster, and I found about 4 of these. So there's no, to me, educational video, just to show how the different evolution of technology and computers and different drives they had. Hopefully the video is working good, the angle and stuff I'm using. But ideally, I'm just taking every screw I can out that I see to start with. It's usually a fast way of doing it. But everything is built solid here. Today, it's plastic, cheap plastic. It's like 60–70% plastic versus like here, everything is metal. All the mortars are solid mortars. They were built to last, basically. Like the technology wasn't disposable like today. Today's technology, it's just like 1 or 2 years later, people are buying new gaming computers, just like that, right? This belt here, something loose. Wires there. Some kind of. This is a different. Instead of a belt, it's like a tin strap is holding it. Like this mortar might be valuable to someone. Just goes back and forth. So it was actually, instead of a belt, it was just a piece of tin. Went back and forth. So the mortar's here. I'll leave it complete for now. There's a little mortar there. And it's heavy duty, good quality mortar. Leave it like that for now. I figure we're okay. Just a lot of screws everywhere you look. Okay. I love the technology, how it's so much advanced. I mean, these two could be like, you know, like within 10 years apart, right? From this first technology to that technology could be like even 5 years, right? But these are like built to last. Definitely a lot better than the quality today, that's for sure. Okay. Haven't took that many of these apart, so you gotta bear with me here to figure out what I'm doing. Figure how the front comes off. Okay, I see a couple screws here. For the front plate is probably here. Probably one assembly like that. But this should snap out, I would think, but anyways, it never did for me. So now you have a little more wire. So you have another assembly here. You got an LED wire. So you got a piece of brass here, but you know it's so minor. Little piece here. Okay, let me just start working the mortar. Here's the mortar now. See, nice thing is you clean these up completely. Every screw comes out, so you have a clean piece of cast aluminum. Just that. I like that because it's heavy. Here's your mortar assembly. I'm just gonna try to figure out how I get this out without destroying the mortar, just in case the mortar's good. But like, it's all going to be scrapped anyways, I'm not too worried. But if anybody requests they need a mortar, let me know. But anyways, drop that screw. Okay, here's your mortar assembly. Got an IC chip there. Get the mortar right there. There's a couple screws here. There's a little platter here. Knock that off now. That will be the mortar where the magnets are and all that. I'm gonna pop that off. As your magnet is right here. Find something steel. Here's your magnet right there. And it's quite the magnet. Oops, quite the magnet. Holy smokes. So decent magnet, very strong. It's not even like the old, or not even a rare earth magnet. It's still really good quality. Okay, so basically that's your motor assembly. And then we're going to take off the rest of this drive here, where the reader is, laser reader. One more screw here. Oops. That's it. Clean scrap metal, cast aluminum, should be worth 50 cents a pound, Canadian. Right there, so we got it. Here's the laser assembly here. Now the lasers are like half the size, they're so tiny. So that's your old technology. Okay, let me just clean some of this up here and I'll be back in a second. This is the other one here now. I think it's a 3.5 inch floppy. We'll start taking this stuff apart. Your circuit board. Very circuit board. There's comparison. Old technology, new technology. So from about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chips, basically went into one IC chip. The technology. That's the difference in technology. Look at the plating. Difference in the plating. See the color? This is a darker gold color. It means more pure, more plating and better quality. This one here is already changed, the technology change, right? And this is still an old school. So you can see, you know, when it first came out, the first plating was more high carat, thicker plating. Then it went a lot thinner plating. Looks like almost like a lower carat, and it's still an old school one. Okay, so just want to point that out to you. Okay, now we're going to take the screws off the back of this thing. Two screws, so you can see. Just a little clip on the side there. Using a puppy pad here, actually, trying to keep the dust down and debris and dirt. Okay, so basically, this is your should pop right out. Okay, so you have a mortar here. You'll see the differences in mortars, just like that technology, how going from a heavy duty industrial type mortar into a little tiny mortar. There's your differences from here to here, basically. Tiny little mortar and a big industrial quality mortar. Big difference. Okay, we're just going to take this off here. Reader assembly here. This is your reader. And your reader from here, the difference in readers. Size difference could also be just because the size of the floppy, but any event the head is smaller, it's more miniaturized. So, but anyways, it's technology is definitely, you know, changing fast on these ones, right? It should pop right out. I mean, all the different makes. There's different makes, and some are really, they come apart really easy, And some seem complicated, but they should just pop right out. I see nothing holding it there. There. Well, it had a floppy in it, that's why. Here's your floppy disk. This replace CD replaced this. So anyways, they went from this, well the other one was bigger, went to this size, then went to a CD after. Now they went from CD, now it's digital. It's all stored on digital data, like IC chips and so on. Okay, here's the screws, which I didn't. Messed up on this one. The newer ones, some click out really easy. That one had screws. So the actual circuit board is reversed here. So I'll have to pop this one out. Sometimes circuit board is accessible, like really accessible. This one's not. There's just little clips hold it in there. And here's your mortar. Very, very tiny screws, so you need a good screwdriver set, precision screwdriver set, otherwise, you know, and probably a good set of glasses, because I'll tell you, hard to see the stuff. I remember even 10 years ago, my eyesight was just perfect. Like I can see the littlest flaw in anything, and now it's like very tough. Even this screwdriver, I gotta get a smaller one, I think. It's working, but probably the size is off a little bit. Okay, so figure what this board comes out. It's like it's almost like it's in there pretty good. Okay, now see how your magnet's changed? Now it's just a tiny magnet that goes around the outer edge versus a really big heavy-duty magnet. See, it's a magnet. See? So it's really changed, got advanced, right? Okay, so a few screws here. This is on your mortar assembly. Find the right screwdriver. Not that one. Okay, I got one here. Okay, so you can unwind these if you want. I mean, if it's worth your time, or just own a scrap pile, it's up to you. Here's a little tiny little board. That's your motor controller. This is the difference in the motor controller. See that? IC chip is like 4 times bigger than the old one. All sorts of little gadgets and resistors and capacitors. I mean, the size of the motor, I'm not comparing that because it's a different type of drive, but the IC chips, the technology. So basically, you got fairly clean. You know, you'll have to, you know, certain things have to come out. Like this will probably have, this pin has to come out, that's brass. You'll have to punch this out because you have to punch it out. There it is, punched out. So now you have another piece of cast. There's your differences right there. See that? That's why, well, computers haven't changed in size. They did some, like some were really, really big and some were smaller, but, you know, that's the difference. And I know some towers were like, you know, they were like this high, and then now towers are like that, or even some are just miniaturized, but that's the difference. But this is clean cast aluminum. This was cast in some sort of casting process. Okay, so that's tear down here on those. I mean, pretty straightforward. I might just I'll pop this mortar off here for now so you guys can see it. They're not rare. These floppies, there are millions of these floppies made. So the motors are out there. It's just sometimes people want parts or something, but oh yeah, look at that, it's cool. Here's your copper here. So you can just take the copper off, right off the circuit board. Which obviously I destroyed this motor, but for 25 cents of copper maybe, or 50 cents of copper, but like I say, it was educational purposes only. So this is your copper here. If we can never get it off. It's amazing how these copper wire is so tough. Try to cut it off, it just doesn't want to go. So it's pretty easy to salvage this. So that this is clean copper. So I'm just going to throw in my copper bag for now. So that's copper there. These mortars, I don't personally like to strip these. You can just break them off, or just a pain. I would just throw this. This is so minute of material there. I just throw it in the copper mortar bucket. So that's it. That's all it is here. Let me pull up the mortar off here. It's like in a geared assembly here. Let me shine aluminum. So I would say this is like almost like a mortar, but it's not really a mortar. It's like a geared assembly or something. So you get another screwdriver. This one's a little too fine, but let me see if I can just take this brass fitting off. Nope. It's just stripped. Well, I would just throw it in, like I say, aluminum pile. You can pry that off if you want. Okay, that concludes the teardown on this. Just want to show you the differences between the different sizes. So now, when you learn about floppies, DVD drives, now digital drives now. Okay, maybe I'll do just one quick teardown of the DVD drive. This is the standby. Let me clean this table up here a little bit, and I'll show you this drive here. The drives you've seen, this one replaced all that. So you see all three variants. This is the 44 Max. It's like a compact disc driver. This would have audio going into your computer, and data and all that would come off here into your computer. This is an older one. The newer one's a little smaller, by maybe like an inch smaller this way. So anyways, let's get on here and pop screws off, so you guys can see exactly what's in here compared to what the other two I opened up. The technology changed to those units, the smaller floppy, into this unit. This unit was, like I say, it was into like a disc. It went from a floppy into a compact disc, and then these eventually you could, write music and stuff, and then you could play it on a CD player and all kinds of stuff. So the technology really advanced. You could burn a CD and so on. Before, you couldn't burn CDs, and then the technology changed where you could burn CDs more and play them on any CD player that you had, car stereo, whatever. So technology, different stages, advancements. Okay, let's get the last final screw out of here. Trying to keep the video short, but trying to educate people on how the technology changed over the years. Because All those young guys out there and kids nowadays don't know. See, this pops out very easy like that. They only know, well, some kids today only know digital data, you know. You know, we had iPods, and first we had cassette player, Walkmans, you know, iPods, stuff like that, and so now it's not iPods, now it's all cell phone. Rip that out. The reason why I showed you this one is just a bigger board. This old technology. Today's technology is more advanced. The boards like that size are very small. IC chips, quite a few. Here's your board. It's a DVD board. Okay, so let me move some of the stuff out of the way. Here's the case. Gone. Heavy case. So a little more plastic in here. No cast aluminum, just pot metal, steel. So what I would do is, I'm stripping these down just because I need to get them processed. I have so many of these drives, and I need the boards taken out for gold recovery. And this metal here, it's just sitting, and the metal is worth something, so I might as well get rid of it and sell the metal. Otherwise, you're just hoarding boxes of junk. I want to just start clearing and make some room. Because if you get too much stuff, you just tend to get lazy, and then you just don't want to get more stuff. When you have an empty room, you want to get more stuff to fill it, right? If you know what I mean. The urge is to get more. Like if I have 50 computers sitting that aren't taken apart, I'm not going to actively look for more scrap computers, right? Why is this not working too good? So I want to process it fast as I can. It's very important that, like I say, I have lots of space in all this. Like, it's not a lot of metal here, but you know, if I have like 25 cents of metal here, it's you know, it's already gone, right? It's not taking up space because it takes up a lot of space. I pulled 3 boxes out of my storage area of just this kind of stuff. So here's the mortar. It's advanced. The mortars are very small. Look at that. And they're powerful mortars too, not like the old school mortars. These are really powerful. So this deck will have to be taken apart. Usually it's just snap right out, this deck. Wear glasses to be safe. The deck will snap apart. There, like snaps out the deck. So I'm interested in just a few mortars. There's really nothing else that I want on here. I'm gonna pop the mortar off just because I'm doing I'm saving the mortars anyways. Figure I'm here, I might as well pop the mortar off. And I just throw this into my mortar buckets. The more mortars I have, and it's a surprising time. Like a mortar like this, you put this in a 5-gallon pail, you'll probably have a really hard time lifting that pail up. Even mortars like that, it adds up fast. Here's another mortar right here. That's it. And there's a little belt here. Here's your next mortar. So rest, I don't take nothing else more. I'll just clip whatever wire I can off this, and then that'll be scrapped. It's going to shred, basically the way it is. But let's see the mortar technology, how advanced the mortars are compared to these bigger ones. Compared to something like this, huh? That's the same mortar basically as this. I guess you didn't need the demand for the big mortar. You didn't need like that much power. You only needed something like this, right? But back then they just overbuilt everything. They engineered it to make it last. These ones, the motor burns out in 6 months, a year, or a couple of years. They don't care. They're disposable units. These were built for a lot longer. Matsushi sheets, made in Japan. It was good quality. Whatever was made in Japan back then was good quality. Japan was good. Went from Japan and went to Taiwan, and then China took over. And like I say, some China products are good, but you know, everybody wants the cheapest item at the cheapest price. Well, made in China, it's basically garbage because you want the cheapest item. But if you want good quality stuff from China, there is better quality stuff out there, but it's expensive. You pay for what you get. That's basically it. Okay, that's it. Concludes this whole demonstration and tear down and scrapping and so on. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like. As always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.